am I so tired?
90% of people barely function because of their constant tiredness. Today we will go through most important scientific researches about tiredness and we'll try to find solution. We'll start from things which basically everyone should do to make themselves alert and ready for new challenges, and go to the a little bit more elite knowledge, which usually most people don't know about. Number 1, hydrate yourself. Even very small dehydration like 1 or 2% can already cause a massive decrease of cognitive abilities and increase of tiredness during the day. Research from Harvard University shows that dehydration is responsible for this feeling of heavy head and several problems in brain functioning. The problem is that nowadays, because of our lifestyle, which is full of stress, we don't really feel that we need to drink water. Stress massively lowers fierceness, and because of that, most of people nowadays don't even drink minimum amount of water during the day. The mechanism of dehydration is relatively simple. First of all, your blood becomes dense, so it becomes worse in transporting of oxygen to all your organs, including the brain. Then your organisms start to save water, so the crucial processes of course can be continued, but many other things is just inhibited or work much more worse than in normal hydrated person. So what you can do? The first thing is to actually remember about this problem. So when you go to work, when you go to university, wherever, you should always take a bottle with an amount of water which you will need during your day. So if you start the day, just take a bottle of 2 liters of water and try to drink it during your work, during your studies. If you are tired of normal taste of water, just add some lemon and drink constantly small amounts to absorb maximum amounts of minerals from water. Number 2, increase your lactate production. Lactate, what is very interesting, is one of the form of fuel for our brain. So of course our brain uses ketones, uses glucose, but the another thing which our brain uses is a lactate. And the interesting fact is that lactate is actually created in our muscles. Then it can go to our brain through our bloodstream and can be used as one of the most effective fuels. Scientists already discovered that lactate can cause cognitive functions enhancement and also creation of new neurons through stimulation of BDNF, which is a neurotrophic factor in our brain. In specific situation, our brain can absorb even 60% of total energy from lactate, and you should still remember that this substance is almost not consumed in our food, so we almost entirely create it alone. Another function of lactate is a neuroprotection, massive reduce of brain tiredness, so that's why you should optimize levels of this substance in your body. And how you can do it? As I said, the lactate is created in biggest amounts in our muscles, but not in all of exercises. I mean, there are exercises which are the most effective in creation of lactate, and these are short-lasting and very intensive. So as you might guess, one of the best exercise for increasing this substance is sprint. How to do this properly? Do 30 seconds of sprint, then 90 seconds of jogging, then again 30 seconds of sprint, 90 seconds of jogging, and continue it through 3 series. Because of this, you will massively increase lactate amount, and then some amounts of that will be transported in your bloodstream to your brain, where it can go through brain-blood barrier through some special receptors. So you should definitely add sprints to your weekly basis. The step number 3 is orexine optimization. There was some kind of experiment where they closed the monkey without the sleep for 36 hours, and then they sprayed something to their nose, and the results were really shocking. Monkeys which weren't sleeping for 36 hours get even better results in cognitive exercises than monkeys who were sleeping normally. So what was this mysterious substance? This was an orexine, which is one of our humans' neurotransmitters. Orexine can be actually secreted naturally, and the best way to do it is again exercising. Scientific researchers showed that even 20 minutes on treadmill can be very effective in increasing the levels of orexine in the brain. And the interesting fact is also that drinking, for example, 1 cup of coffee can also boost orexine levels by nearly same amount. If you ever were interested in nootropics, for sure you know modafinil. And the interesting work of this substance, it can also, among many other things, increase the amount of orexine in our brain. Another thing which can boost orexine is fasting. Nowadays we are forced by our culture and social norms to eat all the time, but basically it wasn't everyday norm for our ancestors. We didn't eat for many hours until we actually found something, hunted an animal or whatever. So scientists discovered that during fasting, orexine is probably decreased to help us hunt. Low glucose levels also can have a very positive effects in orexine production. And the interesting fact is that actually high glucose levels can decrease orexine secretion. Orexine, which is meant to make us alerted, is even inhibited by some medicaments for sleeping. When carbohydrates actually makes us produce less orexine, some studies actually suggest that protein intake can increase orexine production, or even consumption of carbohydrates with proteins can reduce negative effects of carbs. Even very famous neuroscientist Andrew Huberman say that his first meal of the day is of course in the afternoon, and it doesn't contain any carbs, just fats and proteins. And actually, it has a massive scientific basis. By the way, now you can buy my book, which is based on over 50 scientific books and researches and talk about 10 main components, how to think faster, memorize faster, understand better, and increase IQ level. And now you can get it for only $10. Let's go. The next thing is sleeping. And if you still neglect the importance of sleeping in your daily habit, you should read the book Why Do We Sleep by Matthew Walker. This is a scientist which discovered sleeping secrets for over 20 years. And he made and found many very interesting researches how terrible is actually for us sleep deprivation. I won't even speak about the fact that lack of sleep makes us less attractive, more likely to get cancer and many other illnesses, dementia, Alzheimer, diabetes. But for daily basis it causes depressive states, decrease of cognitive functions, decrease of memory consolidation, lack of focus and many more. And it's one of the most important reasons why we are all so tired all the time. Because be honest, actually no one, literally almost not a person, sleep more than 7.5 hours during the night. And even if you go to sleep for 7.5 hours, you need still time to get asleep. You probably wake up a few times during the night and don't notice that. So basically, I'm almost certain that there is maybe 10% of people who sleep enough during these times, mostly on the West. But the sad reality that according to a Professor Walker, the amount of people who can survive on 6 hours of sleep or less, which is considered as very normal in our society, is rounded to a whole number is exactly 0%. And if you lose just 1 or 2 hours of sleep, it's actually much more important than you might realize, because many important processes in sleep are placed into the last phase of sleep. So instead of just 20 or 30% of memory consolidation, you lose more like 50. So make sure that you sleep exactly 7.5 hours. It means that you should spend in bed more like 8 or even 9 to make your sleep the best possible quality. Your bedroom should be quiet, should be dark, and should be in a temperature of 20 degrees or lower. These things can really help you in sleeping more, not wake up during the night, and really eliminate tiredness. Think, most of society, I would say over 90% of people don't sleep enough. How big advantage you will have when you will sleep over 7.5 hours every damn day. That will be something which will really make a difference. So try it on your own, try to sleep more, try to really don't sacrifice your sleeping through stupid pleasures during the evening. You can check my ebook in the description, subscribe and like, because you don't know how much it helps me and this channel. Thank you, ciao ciao.